I wanted to pop in really fast before the episode started to remind you that I am offering strategy sessions. This is something that's new to me, but I've done a few and I have loved every minute of them. If you're interested in doing a strategy session for free, I only have a few spots left. Make sure that you email me at lydia@dacbalance.com to reserve your spot. That's lydia@dacbalance.com. Be sure to reach out. Welcome to the DAC podcast. My name is Lydia Miller, and in this podcast, I'm talking through the things that I'm learning in an MBA program and how I'm applying that information to my small business. Thanks for joining me. Now let's get started. Welcome back to the DAC podcast. If you're new, I am so happy that you are here. And if you've been listening along with us, then you'll know that we just finished our series on analysis and we realized that it's not your solution. But what analysis does for us is that it helps us to kind of see what we are doing and where we're at. And it gives us a starting point and it gives us a point where we can move forward from there. So if we've analyzed our customers, and if we know that our customers are buying from us in, let's say, flea markets instead of online mainly, then we can do more of what's working, which would be like the flea market selling there. Or we could do something that's working better for us. Or we can understand what our customer's thinking or understand the motivation behind why they're purchasing our product. And that's going to all help with your marketing so that you realize what you need to be putting money into, where you need to be going, what you need to be working on, and all of those types of things. So we just finished that series. I think it was 5 or 6 episodes long. And if you haven't listened through it, go back and listen through it and let me know your thoughts on that. But today I decided to do something a little bit different to give a little bit of a break in between, the first part of this series and the second part of this series. And I wanted to do something a little bit different. And one of the things, and I wanted to talk about what I've learned the most through this MBA program and why I decided to go back. So I started my business, I know it's been 2 years ago. I started my business in March of 2016, and then I went full-time in October of 2016. And my goal for starting the business was so that I could work from home, and eventually once we have kids, I want to have a really flexible schedule, and I just really wanted that freedom that came with it. What I didn't realize was after I went full-time is that the systems aren't there. I don't have somebody who knows about technology. I don't have somebody who knows about marketing or leadership or any of these other areas of my business that I suddenly had to be in charge of and I suddenly had to know everything for. So that has been a huge learning curve. And it was in May of 2017 that I was sitting at my sister's graduation from the college that we went to, and my my other sister is actually there right now as well. And I was just praying because I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do. I felt like I was in a rut in my business. I felt very overwhelmed. And I decided to go back for a master's degree. Once they started talking about the MBA program and the graduates, then that's when I just knew that I was supposed to go back for my MBA. And so the next day I looked at the application process and I applied and I got the ball rolling so I could start that fall. And so I started in August of 2017 on my master's degree. And I started with a statistics class. It was a 2-week intensive class and it was really difficult. I felt very overwhelmed and like I couldn't get anything done. And then we moved into the regular semester and I started to feel a little bit better, but I was taking marketing and technology. And these are 2 topics that before these classes, I really didn't know much about and I wasn't doing them well in my business at all. But I decided to continue to move forward. So after I started moving forward and learning about these things, I started implementing them in my business and I started to realize that anyone can do this. Anyone can start a business, anyone can learn, anyone can grow and change and learn new things, even if it's really, really difficult at the time. So one of the things that I want to do in this episode is just to encourage you that if you are just starting out in business, or maybe if you are thinking about starting a business, or you have been running a business for a while, but it's not going how you thought it would, that is totally normal. A lot of small businesses don't do well right off the bat. And if you're one of those, then just realize that you're not alone, that you can learn and that you can get better. And if you're just starting a business, realize that I think the biggest thing that I've realized is that the systems aren't there. Like, it's, unless you're going into direct sales, if you're being an entrepreneur and you're starting your own business, you're not going to have your own system set up. And by systems, I mean an email list. You're not going to have your accounting set up. You're not going to have a process for customer service set up. You're not going to have a mission statement set up. You're not going to have your why set up. You're not going to have a logo. You're not going to have business cards. You're not going to have just all of these things that when you go into a job, they automatically have all of those things. You're not going to have any of that when you start a business. And I knew that going in, but I didn't fully realize it until I was sitting there one day looking around and I started to make a list of all the things I want to do for my business. And it was, 3 or 4 pages long. And I was just floored at how much work it was going to take to get this thing off the ground. So, just be encouraged. This is why I'm doing this podcast, is for someone like you who is starting a business, who needs the information. Maybe you don't have the time to get an MBA. Maybe it's not available to you right now or possible right now, but you need the information. So that's why I'm doing this podcast, is to kind of help you to get some of the information, to get the ball rolling, to see where you're going, and to kind of get some clarity on what you should be doing and what you should not be doing. So for some of the things that you should be doing, let me go through a few of those things. Number 1, in this podcast, we've already talked about a mission statement. You should have a mission statement, and it should be on your website. People should know what it is. That's another thing, is the website. Oh my gosh, I did not realize how much work it was going to be to get a website together and to really just dial in exactly what it should look like. That has been a lot of work, for sure. So that's another thing that you have to do. So people should know what your mission statement is. People should know your why. Why did you go into business in the first place? So here's kind of my why for why I started a business in general. So when I was little, I always wanted to own a business. One summer I actually made little bookmarks, and they were just out of like paper, and then I put stickers on them and I put like words on them and everything, and I was going to sell them for 25 cents each. And I only sold one. It was to my dad, and I think he paid 30 cents for it, but I loved it. I was so excited that I even sold one. And that was always my dream, was to sell something or to be a business owner and to do those things. And whenever I was little, when Zoo Tycoon was really big, my sisters and I would play over the summer. We'd have to like rotate and everything. But there's some land that was across from where my parents lived, and I wanted to buy that land and turn it into this ginormous theme park / zoo / orphanage for all these kids, and to do all these like amazing things. And I had no idea how I was going to get there, but that's what I always wanted to do when I was little. So I always knew I wanted to go into business, but I didn't just want to do that. And then I wanted to be a doctor, and I wanted to move to New York City and become a doctor and do real estate on this side, because I always thought selling real estate would be fun. So I had all of these different ideas. And so when it came time for me to go to college, I really didn't know where I was going to go until like February of my senior year. And I decided to go to the college that was associated with the school that I was at, because my friends were going there. And I decided to major in accounting because my mom said, hey, you'd be good at that. You like math. You're good at it. Go ahead and do that. So I decided to go for accounting at that point because I knew it was in business. I wanted to be in business somehow. So I decided that was going to be a good thing. And whenever I wrote my senior paper on accounting, I learned that it's kind of the language of business, which is what I really like to hear. I wanted to understand business, and I wanted to understand how it worked and all the different things about it. So then I majored in accounting. And so I think that was a great decision, first off, because now I get to feel like a part of all different types of businesses. So for all of my clients, they're basically all in different industries. They have a common theme around them, but they're all in different industries. And I feel like I'm a part of all the different types of business. So in a way, my dream as a little girl to be a part of all different types of businesses kind of come true, since I now am a part of them. Even if I'm not running them entirely, I still have at least some influence in those businesses. So that for me is my why of why I love what I do, is just to be a part of all different types of business and to help business owners to grow and to strengthen their own businesses. And so you also need your why statement for sure. And I've done a few episodes at the beginning of the podcast on this, just about what you need in your business, why you need it, and different marketing aspects there as well. You need to know who your customers are. You need to know that your customers are wanting to spend money on your product. You need to know where they're at. You need to know why they buy your product. You need to do a lot of research into your customer base to see what they're going to like, because without customers, you really don't have much of a business. So those are a few things just right off the bat that you need to know about. You need to know what you're offering. Now, here's the thing with what you're offering in your business. It needs to fall in line with your mission statement for sure, but your method may change. And here's what I mean by that. I'm thinking about the Dave Ramsey story and about how when he started his Financial Peace University, I believe he started just teaching one-on-one, and then he realized that he could do that in a group setting. So he started teaching little classes, and then I think he moved to VHS tapes after that or something similar, and then maybe DVDs, and now it's streaming and all this type of stuff. So when you're in your business, maybe if he were still doing the one-on-one coaching, he would not be as successful today because he can't serve as many people as he can streaming the videos, recording them, and that sort of thing. So if he didn't change his method, not his message, but his method, he would not have been able to sustain his business or to grow it to as large as it is now. I'm sure he would still have a business, but it wouldn't be as big. So in your own business, don't change the message of what you're doing. I mean, his message is still getting people out of debt, giving them hope, helping them with their finances, but the method has changed. So don't be afraid to change your method of what you're doing if it's not working. I've already had to do that a few times in my own business. I started blogging last year, and first off, blogging is a lot of work. I did not realize it. And I realized that there is a science behind it with SEO that I'm just not familiar with. I'm learning more about it, but I'm just not that familiar with it. And since I'm not that familiar with it, I realized that it was going to be a lot more work than what I had time to put into it. And so instead, I decided to do this podcast. I didn't change the message of what I was doing, but I changed the method of it. So now I'm podcasting, and I'm actually going to get into video later on this year as well to do more YouTube videos. It won't be as deep of content as this, but it'll still be similar content as I move forward with the podcast and with my own business. So you can see that you have to also be flexible in your own business. You have to be able to evaluate yourself and see what you're doing, what's going right, what's not going well. You have to be self-aware. And that's a huge part of this business thing, is that you have to be self-aware enough to see, or you have to have somebody who you trust who can look at your business and say, this is going well, and this was a good idea, but it's not working right now, and here's why. You have to be able to do those things in your own business to really be able to move forward. And so if you're able to do that, I think you will be successful. But this whole small business thing is a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. So I just wanted to encourage you on this episode, really, that you're doing a good job. It is as hard as you think it is. It is difficult. It's not going to be easy to get through. And it's just the everyday little by little progress. And I think that's what I've been learning the most lately, is as I've been looking at other people's businesses, and as I've been looking at just people who are way further down the line than I am in business and entrepreneurship and all of those things, is that they have 10 years of experience. And even though I just found them a year or two ago, I've still realized that they have been working hard at this every day for 8 or 9 years to get to this point. So if you're just brand new in business, don't think that it's going to be the same success, because it's not going to be. And it's not supposed to be. I think we're supposed to work hard for it if it matters to us. And I just want to encourage you that you're doing a good job. The success will come, but you also have to realize that it's just a lot of work. And learning as much as you can is one of the best things that you can do. And I hope through this podcast that I can share the knowledge that I have, share some information, and help you to realize just some things that I've learned along the way. And I hope that you've gotten a lot of great feedback through this as well. And if you are like I am, new to business, learning about things, and if you have heard something, or if you want to do a strategy session with me, I would love to do that with you. And basically what it is that you bring 2 or 3 problems that you're having in your business, or 2 or 3 things that I can help you with. And then we contact ahead of time and you fill out a questionnaire and you get all the and I get all the information, and I kind of start to analyze it and break it down. I have had more than just this one course. I'm over halfway through the program at this point, and I start to look and kind of connect the dots between different things that I've learned. And we meet for about an hour on Zoom, and we go through the questions and we go through the things that I can help you with. And I would love to do that with you. I've done a few already, and I have a few more available that are free because I'm still getting my feet wet with this and seeing how it's going and working. So if you would like to do that, please email me, lydia@dacbalance.com, and we'll be in touch, and I can't wait to talk with you. But until then, just realize that you are doing a good job and that this is harder than it seems, I think, and that is just daily, little by little progress. And each day isn't going to feel like the most amazing day ever, but I think that success for any business is in the day-to-day, and that it's in the little progress that you make and staying faithful with what you've been given each day. So I'll talk to you guys next week.